Hey guys, this is my third run on DFFOO Global Act 3 Chapter 9.1, and this run is going to be more of a showcase of Lunafreya when she's in the main party with her FR and BT fully built. I also put this party composition together mainly to showcase how powerful support auras can be, because this fight is mainly going to be 3 support characters at once, which is Lunafreya, Garnet and Ramza. They do extremely well because all these 3 characters carry HP damage cap up. Lunafreya herself has 40%, Garnet has 40% and Ramza has 51% if you combine their auras and their high armor passives together, which brings it to a total of 131% HP damage cap up, not even factoring in ultimate weapons. I initially have Laguna in my main party, mainly to get his Desperado debuff, and I reset the fight until I get a turn order of Luna, Laguna and Ramza. And very importantly, you need to have Lunafreya in party slot number 1. On the very first turn, I actually spam virtually all of Lunafreya's S1 and all of her LD except for one LD used for later, just to charge the force gauge. I also use a quick prayer on Laguna so that he can have enough turns to use both his LD and his BT plus together. So once Lunafreya is out of her S1 and she only has one LD left remaining, I use her AA and end her turn using her BT plus. So Laguna has a couple of free turns, so what I did is use the LD, the Seymour LD call, and finally his BT plus. I actually use his BT plus last because I actually want to try to do as little damage as I can. You see later on that once you get all 3 supports in, damage really racks up pretty quickly, and you need to be able to start Lunafreya's BT mode before Ultimacia hits 79%, because by then she will turn warp herself to the front and you don't want that to happen too early. So once Laguna has finished setting up, I can swap him out for Garnet and get her to set up her Peridot Thunder Flash as well as her BT plus. With Garnet as well, you notice that I didn't use her LD as well, and it's also for the same reason that I actually don't want to pile on too much damage, otherwise you very easily hit the 79% threshold. If you can somehow find a Garnet's friend support which have speed passives and Peridot Thunder Flash light passive removed, you can actually make this into a 4 turn run, but unfortunately due to the Garnet high speed, she actually takes 1 extra turn and this run becomes a 5 turn run instead. So anyway, coming to Ramza's turn, I had him use the Warrior of Light LD call to apply the shield, and this is to keep the party safe for the later parts in the fight, and then I end his turn using his BT plus. Notice that I don't use additional ability on both Garnet and Ramza. The only reason is I actually don't want Garnet's overhead to go off too often. Again, also for the same reason that if you do too much damage here, you actually run the risk of very quickly bringing Ultimacia to 79%. And so the challenge here at this point is to actually complete your setup before you hit the first HP threshold in the fight. Coming back to Lunafreya's turn, to finish off the setup, I quickly use Quick Prayer on Ramza to give him a bunch of free turns, and you see why this is very useful later on. With that said, I can then go into her final LD to give herself a bunch of free turns, and this will allow me to use her FR and then full up with her BT mode. Before using her FR, I actually used the Prishe LD call, but on hindsight it may be better to use FR first before the Prishe LD call. One thing to note, I used Ramza here because I wanted a triple support party, but you'll probably be better off swapping Ramza for Kayn, giving Kayn the quick buff as well at the start so that he can set up BT plus and jump. So at this point, after this overhead of Garnet went off, you'll see that Ultimacia is already at 83%, and not forgetting also that I have the force time bonus to boot. This is exactly why at the start of the fight it's quite important to try to minimize damage as much as possible. This actually allows me to squeeze in one EX to get Lunafreya's EX buff before starting her BT mode rotation. Ideally, I would have actually liked to squeeze in one more attack here so that I can start BT mode at 8 turns, but since Ultimacia is low enough, I have no choice but to start it right here. It's really a shame that Ultimacia is immune to launch on this fight. Launch is actually going to be extremely powerful with this party setup, because not forgetting the launch damage is also affected by HP damage cap up and Lunafreya's BT aura as well. Anyway, coming to Lunafreya's BT mode, to try to ensure I do an attack every single round, what I did is to use her S2 first, because her LD actually replenishes her S2 and gives you one additional free skill use. So this allows me to use 2 more of her Frigid Wookie. And finally, I can use her EX followed by her FR attack to round off her BT mode. Coming out of BT mode, because I've passed the 79 and 49% threshold, Ultimacia will warp her turns twice. She will also let off her recast attack, but because Ramza has used the Warrior of Light call, none of the attacks here will deal any damage to your party, so it's just a matter of waiting until you actually get a turn. In the meanwhile, actually Ultimacia taking multiple turns in a row is also helpful, because right here she actually triggers another of Garnet's overhead attack. So Ultimacia is at 22%. I decided to pop summon here even though Ramza has free turns, because I didn't want Ultimacia to go into turn warp again. Besides which, in summon mode I'm fairly confident that I can quickly kill off Ultimacia at this point. So there's no need to really hold back anymore. I'm just spamming Ramza's LD here, and that's quite a lot of damage, 7 million damage right there. And on the final turn you get to pop off one more huge LD Ramza, and this will more or less bring Ultimacia right to death's door. So that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful. And if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next stream fight. Bye!